All this FIM Motocross of African Nations action is proudly brought to you by the FIM Africa and their associate sponsors. Welcome back to Donnybrook Park and part 2 of our coverage of the FIM Africa Motocross of African Nations. It's a fantastic field that come out here to do battle. Over 200 riders and 7 nations going to go to battle. We saw some great action in the junior categories. This week we concentrate on all the senior categories and our ladies. And the ladies are jumping in there to help themselves out, never mind anybody else. Great job there, Bianca Baling, getting that Kawasaki all sorted out and ready to go for heat number 1. No holds barred here amongst the ladies, as you can see, doing all the work herself to get that bike sorted out. And they're all fighting for the trophies. And to take home that trophy is definitely a big highlight in a person's career. And the youngsters all did a great job the previous week. The track is absolutely dialed in and perfect for racing. And that's a big thanks, of course, to all of the local industry that got behind this event. Great to see junior riders getting an opportunity to be out there in front of the biggest crowd they'll ever race against. The Pee-wees in the gates and going to do a little demonstration ride for us, showing that the future of the sport is still very bright. They ride the slightly shortened version of the track and actually even shorter than the 50cc's did last week. But needless to say, they're still out there and putting on a great show. And this is all part and parcel of what the FIM Africa wants, development in the sport throughout the African continent. Once they clear the circuit though, we get ready to go for racing. And down in the gates, MX2s are ready for their first heat. And expect big battles at the front end. The South Africans are definitely the favourites here, but never take out of the equation Regan Warsmith on his home track. The gates drop and they head down towards turn number 1. And already problems in the background. You can see, I think that was one of the Kenyan riders. Yes, Jacques Duplessis just getting out of shape there and unfortunately getting caught out. But as they came through into turn 1 and down towards stumble block, it is the South African pair out front. Great start coming out of Kieran Fitzgerald. Josh Mnimi is right there. Regan Warsmith going side by side with Johan Volkelsang as they head down into that very tricky right-hander. It's an off-camber turn and it takes them down into the bottom end of the circuit. As they head down there, it's South Africa 1, 2 and 4 at this stage with a great start coming out of Warsmith in third place. But it looks like Kieran Fitzgerald has got his head down and trying to get away as he comes back into the stadium section and past the Yamaha Marine centre turn. Down towards the stumble block turn now they go, and around the outside goes Warsmith, trying to find a way past, and it's a hard way past on Josh Mlimi. And Mlimi's got a lot of experience at this track as well, having been at a couple of the summer series in the past. Further back, great ride there coming out of Boinello Rantau, and look at that, Amini Atabella coming out of Morocco, having a superb run. A little bit further back than these top 3, they've pulled a small margin now. You can see Warsmith has got through and has found a way past Mlimi. Mlimi now going to follow his good friend here from Zimbabwe and try and find the hot lines as they come through and down towards the bottom section. That's a very tricky little section that they head towards now. Atabele now fighting hard there with a 35 of Boinilo Rantau. And Rantau with a bit of issues on his inside. Look at that. What a ride from the 4-2, just squeezing through there. Carl Bowling finding his way to the front end and making his way possibly into the top 5. Watch out for Bowling. He's from Zambia. He's looking to fly the flag high up for his country, but ow, that is a great shot. Man, that is so good to see. Josh Mnimi absolutely sideways over that big jump, and the Ice Feeds tabletop has caught a couple of guys out, but not with these 250s. They've got plenty in the bag to get across that big tabletop. Not enough in the bag yet from Mlimi or from Warsmith to close down on the lead that Kieran Fitzgerald's got as he heads back down towards that stumble block turn. In the mid-pack, though, there's some great battles starting to rage as well as Kieran Fitzgerald gets away. Look at this, second and third is now very tight. Around the outside comes Mlimi. Can he find a way through on Warsmith? No, Warsmith just forces him onto the high line. That high line might be a better line to come out. Look at the drive that he gets. Just gets caught out ever so slightly as he comes out there. Now through the AA corner, you can see just how hard they're having to work here. Warsmith with big pressure coming from the second of the Red Bull KTM riders. Lots of support on the sideline there for Jacques Duplessis, who's recovered nicely. And you can see he's starting to be closed in now by the 21 of Amini Atabella. Moroccan is definitely pushing hard, and his teammates not too far behind him. It's great to see these two guys going at it. And they're the guys who've travelled the furthest, but good to see his teammate there as well. Chabone Abdeloed having a fantastic run. Just ahead there of the 33 of Victor Dutoy. And Victor Dutoy there from Botswana, just outside the top 10, looking for a chance to possibly squeeze out Jacques Duplessis by the end of the race. Now as they come down into the bottom section once again, looks like there's a change up for second. Further back in the field, coming up on some back markers there, that is Isma Mkubi having a little bit of issues at the back end and didn't quite go according to plan for him, but it's certainly going according to plan for Kieran Fitzgerald. As he comes in amongst the back markers now, they stay on the left-hand side and out of harm's way as the South African comes flying through. Oh, problems! The 8 bike of Ross Brennan come with a bit of an issue there. That's a bit of a pity. Didn't expect that. Across the line goes Josh Mlimi in second place, just having a look at Lauren van der Vestes and doing the live commentary. And then a bit further back from that one, it was Regan Warsmith. I think Vogelsang might be in trouble here because Carl Bowling is starting to close him down. So there's a good fight possibly at the end of this first heat for the 250s there for third and fourth. As they come over the top now, not much time left to go here for the top two South African riders, Kieran Fitzgerald and Josh Mlimi. Flying the flag high for South Africa, getting the team points in the bag, which is important. That's what they're all fighting for here. It's not important about the overall victories, of course. We've got to try and play the team game, although every man that's out there right now wants to take the overall in the 250 category. And one of them has just gone through there. Regan Warsmith just hanging on, possibly for third place. Kieran Fitzgerald coming to the checkered flag, though. He's been plain sailing, literally flag to flag victory here for him. As the gates dropped, he was the man to the corner first, got the whole shot and hung on to the lead all race long. Great ride in that first heat coming out of the South Africans. 1 and 2 there for them, with Fitzgerald and Mlimi beating out Warsmith from Zimbabwe. Then it was Vogelsang from South Africa. Ralph Chiara right up there in 5th place, beating Bowling and Atabella. Welcome back to Donnybrook in Harare, Zimbabwe for FIM Africa, Motocross of African Nations. 7 nations all going to battle here, and over 210 riders that are fighting hard here for African Championship points. It's great to see big support on the sidelines and one of the biggest crowds that have ever come out to the Donnybrook circuit. All ready now for the ladies to go to battle for their first heat of the day. The Kenyan riders all looking good out there as well and trying to push as hard as they can to catch the Zambians, South Africans and Zimbabweans. And remember, we got a big battle expected between South Africa and Zambia. South African team definitely looking to take the team title, but they've got a very, very fast lady out front. And Leah Haygate set the pace, and that's why she's got the number 1 plate from last year. Let's see if she can maintain that plate and retain it as the gates drop. The Yamaha Marine girl just makes it 5 seconds from 15, and the gates drop down towards turn 1. Oh, up the gates! Can you believe that? The 32 of Mandy Pretorius just catching a little bit of wheelie coming out of those gates. But down towards turn 1, it looks like Haygate might have got the whole shot. Janka Petersen getting a face full of roost there from Tegan Reid as they go down into that first turn, but it is Leah Haygate who leads out. Right on her tail comes Jadine de Lima. Great start there from Jadine. Tegan Reid just behind that as well. So it's South Africans literally 2, 3, 4 and 5 by the looks of things as they go down into the third turn. Great start there from Tegan Reid. Jenna Bowling is right up there as well. Janka Petersen, as we saw, getting a little bit of face full of roost, but managing to survive. Further behind that, Celine Gunnarsson, first of the Zimbabweans. What a great start there from her. But they're all trying to close down on this young lady who's disappearing at the front end. It's a fantastic start from Leah Haygate. She's already pulled almost 5 seconds up the road ahead of this young lady and the rest of the pack. Jenna Bowling hanging on for second at the moment. Behind her looks like it's going to be Jadine de Lima and Tegan Reid fighting hard. Janka Petersen just behind that. Then we see, look out for Celine Gunnarsson. There she goes. And just behind her is Hannah Watson, second of the Zambian riders. Great run there from Hannah Watson. Definitely one of her best outings, that's for sure. There you can see her in full flight trying to close down on the Zimbabwean just ahead of her. And the Botswanan up there as well of Maxine Wahome. Great start there from Maxine Wahome as well from Botswana. Definitely a rider who could potentially be in the top 5. Up front though, no worries at all for Leah Haygate. Second place Jenna Bowling hanging on for now. But can she keep it all together? Further back, Mandy Pretorius now coming under a bit of pressure there, and it's the 42 bike of Caitlin Parks, third of the Zambian ladies, who's now putting the pressure on. Speaking of pressure, here comes some big ones from Cheyenne de Lima on Tegan Reid, but Reid just soaking it up. Janka Petersen just behind that, and then you can see Celine Gunnarsson. So it's literally South Africa, Zimbabwe trying to close down on the Zambian at the front end. But Leah Haygate is disappearing and getting away from everybody else. Tegan Reid is trying to close things down there on Jadine. There's no issues at all there, and look at the gap. This is an amazing ride coming out of Leah Haygate. She's certainly going to be the odds-on favourite here to retain that number 1 plate. And that's an amazing effort considering this young lady was involved in a big crash at the beginning of the season in the South African National Championship. So what a return. Front end though, it's starting to heat up. And Jenna Bowling is being closed down now rapidly by Jadine de Lima. De Lima looking for a way through there on Bowling, and looks like Tegan Reid is going to look and pick up the pieces if something goes wrong between those two ladies. Good to see the support on the sideline there from the teams. Edging on and shouting for the girls and giving them everything they can in terms of support. Bianca Bailing, well, she didn't need support. She did all her tyre changes herself. Further back from that, also great to see Esther Mungwala there from Uganda. That, of course, is the big boss man from Uganda's young daughter doing a super job. One of our youngest lady riders out there as well. Should be looking forward to the home event at the next FIM Africa Motocross of African Nations up in Uganda. Leah Haygate comes across and takes the victory. Relatively easily done by the Zambian, but what a fight for second. Look at this. JD Ndalima with big pressure coming from the D-Force lady, and that, of course, is Tegan Reid. And they come across for 2 and 3 for South Africa and make that 2, 3, 4, and 5 for South Africa as well, with 6th place being taken by Shane Ndalima from South Africa too. So a definite whitewash there with Hannah Watson in 7th place and Celine Goodinson from Zimbabwe in 8th. On top of the podium, Leah Haygate once again retains the number 1 plate.
5-time African Motocross of the African Nations champion. I can't believe it. I'm so proud of all the other girls that competed and my team. It was an honor representing my country once again. And hopefully I take this year out, and by the end of it I'm going to be fit and strong and can get back into it.
Moving on, ladies, across to the Vets and Masters. They are combined, and Vets and Masters certainly has got a huge field. One of them is Shane Thomas, who rode here for the first time when he was 11 years of age, and he's now back almost 40 years later to go to battle in the African Nations motocross. Great to see some big riders coming from all around the nations that are competing here. And certainly at the front end of both the Masters and the Vets, expect a big battle between Zimbabwe and South Africa. Brett Bircher, firm favourite. And at the front end of the Masters, Dal Holliday from Zambia will definitely be there as well. Another man to watch out for, of course, will be Trevor Thixton, who rode in the very first African Nations Championship here at Donnybrook almost 20 years ago. Gates drop and down towards turn 1 they go. Great start from Kruger. Doug Malore looks like he might get the whole shot though, as Brett Bircher has to go high and wide into turn number 1. The rest of the pack comes screaming through, and you can see them all trying to sort things out in the background. Craig Kruger gets the whole shot on the inside, and what a start there coming from Stuart Lang. Brett Bircher's up to 3rd place. Behind that, you can see a good start coming out of Dougie Malore on the 2-bike. He's from Marine Yamaha Centre here and doing a super job. Man down on the start, as you can see, a couple of riders just getting caught out. Rodrigo Oliveira is one of those riders who just got caught out there in the fracas into turn number 1. They've sorted that all out now, and it looks like Kruger's starting to open up a bit of a margin. 2nd place is Lang on the 2-stroke, and then it's Bircher. Bircher pushing hard as they go over Tadamanzi drilling tabletop. Behind that, it's Malore. And you can see just behind them as well, a great start coming out of Asaf Natan. And what a start there from him. Oh, not such a good start there. Going down in the very thick sand. You can see a couple of riders will get caught out by that. The Botswanans starting to come through there. We've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on track coming out of the veterans category. And behind them, 6 to 10 are all masters. Hopefully we're able to catch up with the action in both sides. And remember, there's 2 13s, 2 14s, 2 11s out there. There's a lot of dual numbers. Number 7 doing a super job though is Mark Zeeman. And his lighty was one of the youngsters that actually had a chance to ride in the Pee-wee category. He's been closed down now by Gary Killian, and then Peterson right on his tail there coming out of Botswana. Out front though, it's Kruger starting to open up a bit of a margin. Lang hangs on for 2nd right now, but he's being closed down by his fellow KwaZulu-Natal rider. And for South Africa, Team South Africa 1, 2, and 3. Great start here from Trevor Thixton. He's just behind the battle, and looks like Jeff Den has moved up to 2nd place. Dal Holliday from Zambia is holding on to the Masters lead for now. 29, holding on to his bike. That's Shafik Sitiketolo having a super run, but unfortunately just getting caught out in this loamy sand. The sand is becoming a big factor here. We've had a huge amount of racing through here, and it's starting to get rutty. It's starting to get bumpy. Asaf Natan having a phenomenal run there for Uganda. One of the best rides we've seen out of him, and he's slowly but surely becoming a threat at the front end. The front end of the Masters, though, is Holliday. There he is, coming up on one of the back markers, and it's one of his teammates, the 44, Bernard King. Looks like Brett Bircher might have got through here for the lead in the veterans. He's got ahead of Craig Kruger. 3rd place is still Stuart Lang. They've got about 1 lap to go. Can Bircher hang on? Yes, he can. He's going to come to take the first victory here in the veterans category. Great ride from the South African, hanging on to 3rd spot for a while and eventually came through to take the win. But overall, the results go to Craig Kruger after a big crash from Brett Bircher in a 3rd and final heat. Stuart Lang in 2nd and Asaf Natan in 3rd. Holliday taking up the Masters.
Had a great day today. Got to thank my team, my sponsors, everybody that helped me get here today. And to all the other South Africans and other team members that managed to do well today. Good, and obviously to the Zim club for putting together such an awesome event. Well done, guys. Thank you so much.
Let's catch up with SA's team captain, Jeff Den.
Track was great. Track was absolutely awesome. Very rough, very brutal, but that's exactly how we like it and how a racing track should be.
Welcome back to Donnybrook Park in Harare, Zimbabwe for more action now from the FIM Africa Motocross of African Nations and heat number 2 now of the MX2's 250s. Kieran Fitzgerald's taking the first win. Can anybody do anything about the pace of the South African? We'll have to wait and see as those gates drop. As they head down towards turn number 1, expect big action as they head down there. Great start coming out of the 21 there. Amina Tabile just tucking in behind the South Africans and following through with Ralph Kiara from Kenya. Oh, a big step out there, a big moment. I thought, yes, indeed. A massive moment for the 126 there of Graham Landsberg. He got it completely out of shape, and Alex Moy involved there as well on the 18. Two riders going down as they came in towards turn one. Slightly different track conditions. You can see the dust is a lot worse than what it was. And looks like the Moroccan got caught out there as well. Yes. Oh, man, that's not the way he wanted to be starting things out after finishing up in the top 8 in the very first heat. Now, Chobani Abdul-Oed got a lot of work to do to try and close in on the front end. The front end, though, it's heating up right from the word go. And the usual contenders are right in the mix again. This time, though, it's Mlimi who leads out ahead of his teammate Fitzgerald. Further back, great start from Ralph Chiara. On his tail, looks like that's Carl Bowling. And behind Carl Bowling, Bonilla Runtau and Jacques Duplessis. The rest of the pack comes streaming through here, and there you can see just in the back of Kagiso Stevens from Botswana. He's up there as well. Great start from him. Much better this time on the Kawasaki as he comes into the threat now, possibly for a top 10. 1 and 2 going at it. This is fantastic to see. These two South African boys, of course, are teammates in the South African Championship for Red Bull KTM, and now teammates for South Africa. And they're going to know that there's no team orders here. It's every man for himself, but they are going to try and score as many team points as possible. Oh, there's a sneaky move on the inside there. Fitzgerald getting a face full of roost in return for that. Nice recovery there from Abdul-Oed. He's starting to come through the pack as he gets into the mix. He's just outside the top 10, so the Moroccan is definitely on fire. Look at him, Limi, trying to hang on to the front end, and Kieran Fitzgerald is just sitting waiting. I think he's got a little bit maybe in the hand and looking for a chance to get through on his teammate. Oh, that's a good move. Diving on the inside as they came out of turn 2. And now through the AA, we've got a new leader. Great start there. And what a way to go as they come in now. Right behind them, though, Ralph Chiara starting to close down on the back end of Fuglsang and Wasmith, because those two are fighting rapidly. You can see there as Wasmith comes in amongst those back markers around the outside. Not too far behind him will be Fuglsang. And you can see riding the old South African jersey as he comes up over the line now on the number 12 and pushing hard. 10 and 21 going at it side by side. 10 is Jacques Duplessis from Zimbabwe, the Moroccan around his outside. Oh, big crash. 33 goes down in a big way there. Victor Detroy parked on the sideline. The Kenyans are loving the fact that Ralph Chiara is right up there and in the mix for a top 5. No worries at all for Kim Fitzgerald. Since he hit the front, he disappeared, and he takes the checkered flag and the second victory. And that should secure him the overall victory as well, ahead of his teammate there, Josh Mlimi. Heat 2 results, though, go to Fitzgerald ahead of Mlimi. It's Regan Wasmith and Fuglsang, South Africa's top 3 in the top 4. Great ride out of Chiara in 5th place there. The two Moroccans in the top 8, and Carl Bowling just splitting them. Celebrations, though, for the South African. Let's catch up with Kieran Fitzgerald.
Had a great race. I won 3 motos, but it wasn't without Josh. He was there behind me the whole race, pushing me every single moto. So well done to him, Regan, all the guys, all the competitors from every country. Well done, and look forward to next year.
From MX2s, we head now to the Premier category, and the 450s are in the gate. The MX1 class is definitely going to be fought hard. There are about 4 or 5 riders that are in contention for potentially taking this championship. One of them is definitely going to be the team captain, Jaden Ashwell from Zimbabwe. And of course, Maddie Milan, with the number 1 plate on from last year, is definitely looking to retain it. We lined up in the gates now and ready to go. Watch out for D'Artagnan Lobjoy. Josh Gobi is definitely an outside chance, and so is Cam Oudendal. But watch out for Scotty Haygate in the Zambian team as they come out. Haygate with a good start. As they come together. Oh, problems! Is that Maddie Milan? Yes, it is. Milan has gone down. That is a massive, massive loss to the field as they head down towards turn number 1. Hopefully he can get back up and riding. Didn't look like it was too bad, but here we go. Whoa, out front. I expected to see Jaden Ashwell, not Josh Gobi. Gobi with the whole shot and disappearing now, trying to take his teammate away. You can see Milan has got up. The 41 is the other bike that got involved there. That is Scotty Haygate from Zambia. So Haygate coming together. Looks like there was a little issue there between the 33 machine as well. And D'Artagnan Lobjoy just avoiding the man who went down there, Maddie Milan. So Milan getting together there and unfortunately catching the bars there with Scotty Haygate. The two riders are back up and riding with a huge mountain to climb now. Zimbabwe 1 and 2. Boys at the sideline are shouting hard there for Josh Gobi. He had a massive support base from the locals here in Harare and pushing hard to try and stay at the front. But it looks like he's just been caught out there with a little bit of arm pump and maybe just a little rusty, having not been on the bike as much as the rest of the field out there. Jaden Ashwell is getting away as we see a nice shot there over the Ice Feeds tabletop. Great run here from Ashwell. He leads and maintains the lead. Gobi's right there and keeping him honest. Maybe doing a great job here to run 1 and 2 for Zimbabwe. When he's up in a 3rd place, it could possibly be D'Artagnan Lobjoy or Cam Oudendal. They've been fighting hard there for 3rd place. Behind them, Maxime Van P, the team captain, coming through there as well, doing a super, super job. Not really going to see anything from him at this stage, but as you can see, they're pushing hard. Kitso Malembo coming through there for Botswana too. Further back, the 27 bike there of Fatu Kigundu. The Ugandan having a magnificent ride, having his goggles off early on after that big crash. He was one of the riders who just got roosted by that big crash. No worries at all though out front though for Jaden Ashwell. Look at the lead he's got now. He's extended a massive advantage. Milan is coming through rapidly. We haven't seen him yet, but he's definitely ticking off the laps and riders one by one. Even though he's peakless, he's absolutely hauling and up into second place now. So a good recovery there from the South African. Expect to see big things from him in the second and third heats. Hopefully Lobjoy can hang on. This will be the first podium for Botswana. D'Artagnan Lobjoy having battled through the border now, battling to get to the front end. He's got through on Josh Gobi. Gobi down to fourth now. I think Josh Gobi will be happy to settle for fourth place. He's waiting for that checkered flag to come out. Cam Woodendal also been fighting hard in one of the longest heats of the day. Behind him, Scotty Haygate has recovered as well, and Cam Woodendal could be in trouble. The Ugandans are loving life on the sideline and enjoying the fact that their boys are right at the front end. It's great to see the nations fighting so hard here in this incredible premier class of the African Nations motocross. Haygate closing down on the 12 bike, and you can see Woodendal watching his rearview mirrors all the time. The Ugandans still hanging on there, and what a good ride coming out of Kagundu. The 9 bike up front is Hamish Perry, just taking a little bit of strain now in the closing stages. Perry just hanging on for dear life, waiting for that checkered flag. One more lap to go now for this man, and what an incredible ride coming out of the team captain on his home soil. Jaden Ashwell hanging on for the win, and it looks like Matty Milan now only about 4 seconds adrift. Lobjoy's about 10 seconds back on those top two, so he's got a little bit of work to do here in this final lap, but look at how Milan is charging. Milan was fired up. He's now going to lap Gobi, who's still in fourth place, incredibly. So they've lapped up to fourth place. Josh Gobi about to be eaten up by the South Africans as they head back down into the bomb hole. Great start from this race, and Lobjoy is going to be the first podium here for Botswana. D'Artagnan doing a great job as well as the team captain there. So captain's duties being attended to here for first and third place as the flag is about to come out here. There's massive support all around the track, and it's going to be Zimbabwe to take the win here in MX1. Jaden Ashwell, what a ride from the captain. That's the way to do things if you're the team captain. Show the rest of the team what you can do. Milan will have to come back in heat 2 and 3, hopefully to do something there. And the lap of honor goes to the team captain there, Jaden Ashwell, taking the win in the 450s. He also took the overall results for the weekend, beating Matty Milan and D'Artagnan Lobjoy for third place. Haygate came through for fourth, beating out Gobi, Woodendal, Dustin Fussell, and Cam Thixton from Zimbabwe. And with the Zimbabweans finishing at the top there, you can see just how well they've done. This is the only class that they won the overall and the team in the MX1s. Let's catch up with Jaden Ashwell.
Heat 1 managed to get a decent start, kept out front. Matty went down on the start. Then he was coming and I was getting a bit tired, but I managed to keep it together. I just managed the race. Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks to everyone for coming out, and thank you.
South Africa were the dominant force and took a massive advantage over Zimbabwe for second place in the team standings. Uganda came through for third place. We look forward to heading up to Uganda in 2020 for more action from the FIM Africa Motocross of African Nations. Let's get a few final thoughts from our COC, Owen Robinson.
I think over the last 2 days, we've had some exceptionally close and good racing in all the classes, right from the 50s to MX1. We've had a huge crowd at Donnybrook. I don't believe we've seen crowds like this for a number of years at Donnybrook, and it bodes very well for the sport of motocross, not only in Harare, Zimbabwe, but I think for the whole of Africa. And a particular thank you to the teams that have travelled very far, being Morocco, Uganda, Kenya, Zambia, Botswana, South Africa, all having their challenges of getting through the borders and getting here on time. And I think the standard of racing has been exceptionally good, and I look forward to next year in Uganda.
All this FIM Motocross of African Nations action is proudly brought to you by the FIM Africa and their associate sponsors.